and welcome to episode 9 of the Spicy Homemaker podcast. My name's Melissa, and this is a podcast about knitting and creative living. You can find me on Instagram, Ravelry, and Periscope as Spicy Homemaker. Today is Saturday, December 19th, 2015. Listen to me, I have to even think about that. 2016 is coming up right around the corner, and I sound like I'm not even used to 2015 as the year. I'm in trouble. If I told you right now, let's see, I'm going to go ahead and tell you because this is a very odd hour for me to be podcasting. It is 10:55 p.m. And first of all, welcome. Thank you so much for coming to watch my podcast. If you're new, welcome. If you are a returning viewer, thank you so much for returning and choosing to spend some time with me. There's so much going on right now. I have so many notes and I have so many things to talk to you guys about. And I was getting a little overwhelmed by it all. But then I thought, you know what? This is about yarn and about knitting, which I love, which you love. And I thought, what? This is crazy. Stop stressing out about this. I enjoy talking with you. I'm not going to stress out about this. It's going to be a little bit of here and there. I do have notes, but yeah, just hang with me and let's have some fun. All right. I'm going to have fun. You have fun. Let's just do this. First of all, last week I didn't podcast because I wasn't feeling good. I got sick. And this year, Christmas is very weird for us. We actually celebrated our Christmas today as a family because my two sons and I are leaving out of town next week to go visit my sister and her family for Christmas. And my parents are also going to be down there. And my husband and daughter are staying behind. She's 2. A 12-hour drive with her is not something I want to do at this time. And my husband didn't have the time to get off from work, so we did it today. I love Christmas. I don't usually stress out about Christmas. I have lots of traditions I like to do. I can say no to the things I need to say no to. But this year I don't know if it was how we're splitting it up or it's just been kind of weird and kind of fell a little flat this year. We had a good time today. The boys and Ruby enjoyed opening their gifts. We enjoyed watching them. But yeah, I just feel like I'm a little bit behind the power curve. But regardless, that's part of the reason I'm podcasting tonight. I feel like if I waited another week, which next week's Christmas, which isn't going to happen, I don't know how I could catch up telling you guys everything I want to talk to you guys about. So let's start with, we are over 500 subscribers on YouTube, and I think that is so amazing, and I just want to say thank you. You guys are fantastic. If you haven't joined the Spicy Homemaker podcast group on Ravelry, come on over. There's lots of fun things going on, but thank you. Just thank you so much for subscribing. I know there's more people who watch. I see the numbers. If you'd like to subscribe, that would be great. But that is definitely something to celebrate. So let's just start off with that right there. I am definitely opening up a thread because I need to say thank you to you guys. More than just thank you on here, I want to give you guys a gift. So I am going to open up a thread and choose 2 winners for the prompt's going to be, what are your crafting goals for 2016? And also, let's see. Okay, so here is what I've decided for gifts. I usually like to give a selection because I know everybody has very different tastes, and I want to make sure that you get something you like and you enjoy. Because sometimes something as simple as a color can maybe not work for you. So I have right here, I have 1, 2, there was something else. Where'd it go? Okay, there it is. All right, so this was going to be in my stash enhancement section, but I am going to post this here. All right, this is a sock blank from Gail's Art. I saw this colorway and I thought it was beautiful. I've always wanted to try one of her sock blanks, and I still have not done that. So this is my first one, but I am willing to give that to one of you. And it is the Double Secret Sock Blank, Superwash Merino, 75%, 25% nylon. There's 463 yards here, 100 grams. And there's two here you start with, so you can knit both your socks at the same time. So there's that. And there's also, okay, this came in my Fiberista sock club this year, and I really liked these. And I like that they're different enough because I get two, I get a neutral, and then I get something from their neutral colorway, and I also get something from their, I think it's the cool colors. So I liked both of them quite a bit. They're from Destination Yarn. This one is called Helsinki, and this one is called Milan. And they're fingering weight, 100% superwash merino wool, 400 grams, or excuse me, 400 yards, 100 grams. And so there's two of these that you can choose from. And then there's also, okay, I got things everywhere. If you saw what was all around me, you would be shocked. Okay, this is a new yarn that I just bought as well, and I'll be discussing the dyer a bit more in detail later on in the podcast. But this is from Bohemia Fibers, and she created this colorway based upon a painting I gave her of a sunrise. So this has got a lot of bright, fun colors. There's some greens and into yellows and reds and pinks and blues. It's just gorgeous. So there's this too, and this is an 80-20 superwash merino nylon blend. And if by chance none of that appeals, oh no. All right, yes, there was one more. I also want to offer a fiber option. Maybe somebody out there wants to spin, because I just got this week from Firefly Fiber Arts, and I believe she is called, does she have it on here? Yes, she does. Twisted Mommy Yarn on Instagram. I've seen a lot of her stuff that she's been dyeing, and I've been wanting to try it. So I finally bought some yarn and some fiber, but I just got this from her. And do I have a colorway on there? It's a bunch of oranges with some black, a little bit of cream, just some really gorgeous. Let's see, I'll take one out. Different colors of orange, a little bit of yellow, and some black. Just little, I don't know what you call these. Let's see. She has Jack-o'-lantern mini fun buns. It's BFL silk. Oh my goodness. And BFL merino 22 micron, alpaca, Shetland, bamboo silk. Wow, 11 fun buns. So there's 11 of these if you want this instead. And there's also this. This is what really prompted me. I've been meaning to buy from her, but when she posted this, I really wanted this. I think this is just so fun. So this is called Frozen Waterfall Spinning Bat. It's Polworth Silk 70-30 blend. Fine Merino Silk Noir. You know, I don't know if I'm even saying all this right. Polworth Silk, Fine Merino Silk. Anyways, it's just a whole bat of goodness, okay? So there's a spinning or fiber option here. There's a sock blank, 3 skeins of yarn. I will draw for 2 people to win, and that will open hopefully in the next 2 days. That should be, yeah, that should happen. The thread will be open in the Ravelry group, and I will close that out relatively quick. And I didn't write that date down, but I can tell you because I know exactly what I want it to be. I looked that up before. and it's Monday. I know it's a Monday, and it's going to be, yeah, there it is. So 19th. Yeah, after Christmas. So we're going to do Monday the 28th, December 28th, Monday, 12 p.m. or noon, Central Standard Time. Okay? So, yeah, okay, do I have that? Let me write that down now. December 28th. Got it. All right. So there's that. And, yeah, okay. Like I said, there's a lot. There's so much here. So in case you're wondering what I'm going to be talking about today, since it's going to be a longer episode for sure, we're going to do some giveaways, which I just discussed. There's some knit-alongs, some swaps I want to talk about. Got some works in progress, some finished objects, a little bit of crafting community chat, and just regular chit chat at the end. And yeah, we're just gonna keep moving. So next up, let's talk about some knit-alongs. All right, so the knit-alongs going on right now in the Ravelry group, the Spicy Homemaker Podcast Ravelry group, is Christmas socks knit-along. Now, that's a very relaxed knit-along. There was nothing, no real rules. You didn't even have to knit a Christmas colorway. You don't have to be knitting them just because of Christmas. You're knitting socks from now until December 21st, and that's when I'm closing out the thread. There's chatter, there's no FO threads, you're just in there. I'm just gonna select a winner and hand out a prize, and I've decided what those are. So once again, let's see here. This, okay, is what I have for the Christmas sock knit-along. I'm gonna pick one winner. You can do the Jinx Grainbow self-striping. Now, Grainbow, this was super popular, and I'm sure it still is. She could not keep this in stock at all. I mean, she'd put it in and it would sell out. And I know the Yarn Harlot, Stephanie Pearl McPhee, got a skein of this. I have not knit any up, but I've always liked it. It's on her Power Sock Self-Striping Base, Grainbow, 75% superwash BFL, 25% nylon, 464 yards, 100 grams. So it's just rainbow colors that she overwashed with gray. So very subtle and really unique and fun. There's that. Also, this came from the Rhinebeck Sheep and Wool Festival. Actually, this was from the Indie Untangled Trunk Show on Friday night before the Rhinebeck Sheep and Wool Festival. And this is from Cannon Hand Dyes. I really like her stuff. The Amy Lee Show presents Cannon Hand Dyes. So this is called her Fall Harvest, also self-striping on her Oscar Sparkle Sock. 75% superwash merino, 20% nylon, and 5% stellina. 425 yards. What is wrong with me? I don't know. Is it the lateness? I don't know. Who knows? We'll just bear with me. Okay, so the next one that you can choose from. So this, if you choose one of these, you actually get two skeins, and here's why. So there's this, and there's this, and there's Spud and Chloe, and this is also from my Fiberista Sock Club. It's meant, so each skein is, let's see. Okay, so that's 80% wool, 20% silk, and it's superwash, okay? There's 65 grams, 248 yards in each skein. So you can knit your socks two at a time as well. One skein's meant for each sock, or you can knit whatever you want out of it. So there's two light brown tan ones here, and two purple ones. Ooh, goodness. Sorry about the light. See, that's the one thing about doing this at nighttime. I have to make sure the lighting is good and shadows. Let's watch this, right? See what happens here. So, yeah, I think we got some options here. I will draw somebody on December 21st, and I will PM you on Ravelry whenever I draw that person, and you can tell me which one, which skein of yarn you prefer. All right. So that's my knit along that's going on. Oh, we also have the Knit My Mitts knit along. Now, I'm gonna just say, please go to the Ravelry thread and read all the rules, but I'll go over it very quickly. So I have a pattern called the Good Time Mitts Fingerless Mitt Pattern. Here is an example of what they look like. It's ribbing here, ribbing up here on the thumb, ribbing down here at the cuff, stockinette for the body. Very simple, little gusset right there, and very easy, very simple, and it's a free pattern. If you knit this anytime between now and the end of January, post in that thread and you'll be available, or you will be eligible for a prize. Also, there is a charity option, which is also described in detail in that thread. And for the charity option, you can send me anything you want and it will go to winter gear, meaning accessories is really what I'm looking for. If you knit something, or if you have something you want to give that's gently used, gloves, hats, scarves, something like that, and you send it to me, PM me, and I will give you my address. And I will also put your name in for a drawing for a prize as well. And I have not determined what the prizes are going to be for that yet, so stay tuned on that. So there's that. And okay, that is it for the knit-alongs right now. I will be starting a new one in January. I want to start a comfort knit in January, a knit-along. Not quite sure how long I want that to go yet and what the details will be. It's going to be fairly relaxed, I do know that, but I think after Christmas, I like the idea of doing a comfort knit. So stay tuned for that. There'll be more details coming soon. Okay, next, I want to talk about some ornament swaps, or one ornament swap I've done recently. I've done a few, but the most recent one I've just done was with Amber from the Yarn Junkie podcast. Hi, Amber. She contacted me about swapping ornaments, since she knows I have the little tree back here, which I really have this vision of putting hand knit ornaments or handmade ornaments on it. And one year, hopefully next year, I'll have another one. And one's going to be full of little knit garments, you know, sweater, hat, scarves. That's what I see one tree being all about. And then the other one will be all the rest of the stuff, such as the one she sent me. I got a little bird of happiness. Look at that. Isn't that adorable? I've seen these on a lot of podcasts. I've never knit one. I would love to knit one, but I have not done that yet. But to have one is just fantastic. I think this is so cute. Thank you so much, Amber. And not only that, oh my goodness. So on my last podcast, I was talking about the advent calendars with the mini skeins that I missed out, didn't even know about until well into December, because I must have been hiding under a rock somewhere. So I was talking about how I really wanted to do that, and boy, do I have so much to tell you guys on that front. However, Amber didn't know that. She was watching the podcast, she said, and heard me say that, and she was in the middle of putting together some mini skeins for me, which we didn't even talk about. So I sent her a little pair of my mini mitts. Here's an example of one of them that I kept. Hers were purple and green, but I sent her a pair of these, and some chocolate. And then she sends me a box of all kinds of, oh my goodness. I'm not going to show you everything, but wow. You guys are really schooling me on mini skein swaps, okay? Because Jenny from Tiny Paper Foxes was my very first one, and I was so nervous. I felt like it was a first date or something, right? I'd never done a mini skein swap. I hadn't wrapped or formed any mini skein, so I was just nervous, and there's so many things. Every swap that I do, I get more and more ideas from you guys. And so Amber put these cute little cards on here, and I am going to start trying to do this. So she does a great job of saying what each one is, but then she also puts like one of them, like my very first knit project ever was on there. I was like, that's so fun. I think she has one from her daughter's socks that she made. There's so many things in here. I thought that's so cool. because I mean, I'm putting this in what we're calling the Cozy Memories blanket, and these are full of memories from you guys, and I love that idea. And so I'm gonna get better at this mini skein swap. I tell you, you guys are great. But I just want to show you a few mini skeins that she sent me, and there's more in here that I have not unwrapped yet. So there's these couple purple ones and a little blue one, and you're gonna have to forgive me. Usually I would go through all these, but there is a lot to go through today. So I'm gonna kind of, if you have a question about anything you see, feel free to ask me and I will track it down for you, okay? Today we're just gonna, I'll do my best. But she sent me some goodies to eat. There's like chocolates. I ate some maple nutty goodness thing, and this was the coolest thing. Okay. I can from time to time. I go through spurts, and some years I'll can a bunch of things, and then like this year I didn't can anything. She sent me prickly pear jam. She made this from cactuses from her property. That is so cool. That is so cool. I have never had prickly pear jam, but I will totally eat this. I'm taking this down to my sister's in North Carolina, and we're gonna crack this sucker open on either Christmas Eve or Christmas. I don't know which. Probably both days, to be quite honest. Super excited to try this, and I want to share with others because my sister lives right next door to her mother-in-law, and she does a ton of canning, and so I think this would be awesome to share with people. So I'm really excited about this. Thank you so much, Amber. Love it. Prickly pear jam. I made one year pickled watermelon rinds. That was fun. And they're not like pickles at all. They're more like, they should be called candied watermelon rinds. And those were really yummy. So prickly pear jam kind of reminds me of something in that ballpark. Let's see, what else? I mean, there's just so much in here that she did. I'm trying to make sure that, oh, she also sent me this picture. This is the lake that we currently live on. Wow, I love stuff like this, like getting to know you guys better. I mean, this is good stuff right here. It's a postcard, and so I'm not gonna read everything that's on here, but yeah, just fun. I got a little rooster pin. I got so much stuff in here. It's just wow. I got an advent calendar, not even just through this. You guys just wait, okay? This is just made my day. Made my day. It made me a little embarrassed about what I sent you. Goodness. I feel like I should have sent more. I like giving gifts. I do. I'm gonna get better. I promise. So, okay. That's it for ornament swaps for this week. Let me move on to some crafting community news. It's not going to be as specific as it was in the past, only because, well, let's just get right into it. The first thing I want to say is I mentioned Textilia last podcast. And that is a new, it's basically Ravelry for sewists, people who sew. And they're just taking off. They're still in their test phase, but you can join already. And she's on Instagram as Textilia, and she's very, very active. She's very responsive. And oh my gosh, let me see here. I'm not going to do this. I'm usually good with people writing down people's names because I do not want to not say her name, and I've talked to her on there. Oh, come on now. Okay, there she is. Ariane and Bruno from Vancouver in Canada. Okay, so she is on there, and one of the things she's asked too is for feedback, because one of the things they can do to make this better is by getting feedback from you guys. What works? If there's something that's good, let her know. If there's something that needs a little tweaking, let them know. If there's something you'd like to see, let them know. I mean, they're trying to make this as best as they can, but they need feedback from people. So if you sew, jump on there and make this a good thing, because it is a good thing, and we can make it better. We can make it the best that it can be. So go on over there, check them out. And also Instagram. If you're not on Instagram, you should be, because I'm new to Instagram. So let me tell you, I was late to the Ravelry game. I was late to the Instagram game. I don't know why I'm always one of the last people. I really don't. But I am usually. And Instagram has so much. And you gotta be on it. It's like I could podcast about it, but could already be over by that point. So there's some things that I might be able to tell you about, but most of it's kind of fast moving. So for instance, Tin Can Knits has posted a new pattern every day, and I think they're doing it for 12 days. Don't quote me on that. But I have gotten at least 5 free patterns from Tin Can Knits, and they are paid for patterns, so they're free for that day. I would not have known about that if I wouldn't have been on Instagram. She posts one every morning. It's good stuff, okay? Another thing that was on there this year that I am going to talk about I have lots of mail and boxes or stuff to show you guys, and I'm gonna kind of insert it here and there so I don't do a huge thing at the end. But okay, so I guess this is a yearly tradition. I don't know when it started, but there is this, you post on your Instagram feed, it's called Get Your Yarn Wishes Granted, and you do it in December. And I don't know how long it lasts, when it starts, when it ends. It's already over. But people post this and then they say, I've always wanted to try a skein of woolen vine yarns, like fairy hair or something like that. They post like a couple things on there. And then someone will respond, hey, I have that. I can give that to you. And they just send it. So I didn't even know how to repost anything on Instagram, so I couldn't post a wish. But I saw a couple things on there. It's like, I have that. I would love to give that to you. And a few of the people were people I knew from the Ravelry group and the podcasting community. So yeah, that was great. And one of them, okay, where'd it go? Okay, here it is. Okay, so one of them was Laura Beth. And she has 3 digits or 3 new numbers after her name on Ravelry. And she is one of our new moderators in the Spicy Homemaker podcast group. I have 2 moderators on my group. Mel, who is a woman in the shoe. She is in Australia and she is amazing. Hello, Mel. If you guys need help with something, Mel knows so much stuff about Ravelry. She is amazing. Laura Beth, I want to say it's 326. That's not it. It starts with a 3. I don't know the last 2 digits right now, but she's on there. You'll see it at the bottom of our group. I have 2 moderators in addition to myself. She's on there as well because I need some people to help. I need some. I want people to be active. I want people to feel like it's a place you can come and chat and spend some time. And I'm not always able to be there all the time. I'm in there quite a bit, but there's gonna be times where I'm not gonna be in there as much as I'd like. So Mel and Laura kind of fill in for those spots a little bit. And I really like that Mel's in Australia. No, I don't. I wish she was really close actually, because I would love to hang out with her personally. But she's in a different time zone, so that kind of a much different time zone helps out quite a bit. But anyways, I'm babbling about this a little bit, but I want you to say hello to them. And I got a package from Laura Beth because she had posted that she wanted to try some woolen vine yarn. I think it was fairy hair. I think, maybe not. And just for the record, if you guys can ever get a skein of fairy hair by Woolen Vine, Kristen, the Yarngasm podcast, get it. Just get it, even if you don't want to knit with it. Get it, because the power of the fairy hair is real, okay? There's people everywhere who want that. Get a couple of her popular skeins, because if there's something that you want that you've never been able to get for whatever reason, go on Instagram and say, hey, I have a skein of fairy hair and this is what I'm looking for. Does anybody have it? And I guarantee you it will work well for both parties, you and them. So having said that, Laura sent me, which I did not ask her to do this at all, but out of the goodness of her heart, she sent me some mini skeins and an ornament for my tree. Look at that. It's a little pine cone. It's so cute. Thank you. And I've opened 2 mini skeins right away. She gave me 100% baby alpaca yarn. And this one is Rose Spring Farm, Jenny 2, Superwash Merino. That's a really fun, rich brown with a lot of stuff going on in there. So there was that. Put that back up there. So, all right, Indie Dyer of the Month. I talked about this a while back. My first Indie Dyer of the Month was Dag from Zia Wools, which I love her yarn. I just ordered some more Fire and Ice from her. And that was in November. My original plan was to do this once a month, but I think that's very ambitious. Not that I don't see enough yarn to come up with enough Indie Dyers. I would like to tell you guys a little bit more about the dyers and also to know a little bit more about the yarn. Now, I can't know it all. That's not what I'm trying to say. So, for instance, I'll tell you, Dag. When I saw her Fire and Ice on Instagram, I instantly wanted that. It was a beautiful colorway. That's how she became the Indie Dyer of the Month. Had great customer service with her. I had not knit with her yarn. I had simply bought it. I have knit with it since then. I've knit a ton of ornaments. It's been a great experience. So sometimes it might be because I saw a colorway and I wanted to buy some and I've had a positive experience and then I want to pass it on to you. It may be because of other reasons. So I'll tell you why they became the Indie Dyer of the Month. So anyways, this one is Bohemia Fibers. Amy from Bohemia Fibers. And the way that I came across her is that, and I could not find it before, I was trying to find the thread this was posted in. So someone on the Spicy Homemaker podcast group, you know who you are, post something in this thread, let us know. She posted some really fun, I think they were socks, with some beautiful yarn. And I said that, gorgeous yarn, where did you get that, what is it? And she showed a picture, a painting that she had given Amy. And Amy created a skein of yarn based upon that painting. Now, and she showed the painting in the thread along with the yarn. And it was amazing. It was just very, very well done. So I went to her website and checked it out. And it was really, really fascinating things. So she's known for custom yarn. She does have stuff that's in stock and some colorways that are repeatable, but she does a lot. I mean, a whole lot. I'm going to talk about her in the next few podcasts more in depth, but because there's a lot here to cover and I want to give you the overview this time around, but I got a lot of information to pass along to you guys about this. And here is what so the Indie Dyer of the Month is going to be every 2 months is how I'm seeing this. So Amy from Bohemia Fibers is going to cover January and February. I know we're in December, but that's just how we're going to do it. And there's a couple reasons for that. Not just because of the timing, or the length of time, I should say. So, one of the cool things that she does, well, let me show you guys this. Gosh. Okay, you see this skein of yarn here? This, I gave her 2 paintings. And I wanted to come up with a signature skein for my podcast because I'm going to be doing mini skein swaps more and more. And I wanted a skein of yarn, or a colorway, I should say, that was what I called my signature color. So I gave her 2 very different paintings on purpose because I had an idea of what I thought I would like. And I like them both, but it's funny because a lot of times stuff like this happens where like you go shopping for a dress and you try on the dress on the rack that you really think that you're gonna like. And you like it, but it's the other dress that you got, it's okay, maybe it's on sale or whatever, and you try it on, it's phenomenal, and that wasn't what you were expecting. Same kind of thing. Love both colorways, okay? But this is the one I'm in love with. I mean, truly in love with. I love these colors. There's some rich golds in here, a little bit of really light brownish creams. There's some dusty purples and blues, and it's just gorgeous. And this is based off of Georgia O'Keeffe leaf motif painting. And I will insert a picture into the podcast. And this is going to be, I haven't come up with a name for the colorway, but I will. And this is going to be my signature colorway for the podcast. So if I do swaps with you in the future, you will be getting a skein of, or a mini skein of that. Here was the other one that I showed you that I'm giving away for, or offering up for the 500 plus subscribers. This was based on a painting of a sunrise. And I will insert that photo as well to show you how she came up with this. So that gives you an idea of what she does. I'm also going to insert a link to show you some of her previous work. But if you go to Bohemia Fibers, if you Google that, and I'll also put a link in the show notes, you'll be able to see a lot of what she does. But here's what I want to do. She does mini skein swaps. So you get a group of people together, and I'm looking for 20 people. I will be one of them. So I need 19 people. We're going to come together. PM me on Ravelry if you're interested in this, okay? And you get to pick a photo or a painting of something that you think is beautiful or inspiring. Excuse me, my throat is very scratchy tonight. Goodness. Okay. So we come together as a group of 20 people. We give her 20 different photos. And I am calling this, because I want it kind of themed, but I want it to be very broad. So the theme of this mini skein swap is going to be called All the Beautiful Things. You find whatever you want. A picture, a photo, artwork. I would suggest having it, try not to have like 5 million colors, because I don't, if you see pictures of what she's done in the past, that'll probably help you. But we're going to come together. She's going to create a skein of yarn based on each photo. Then she's going to break them down into mini skeins, and we each get 20 mini skeins based on each other's colors. So you will definitely get the color that you created, but you'll also get the color that I created and 18 other people created. And you get 20 mini skeins all at once, all unique. I think that is such a cool idea. I'm so excited to do this. So if you're interested, PM me. I'm not going to open a thread. I want you to PM me on Ravelry. And I will give you all the details to make sure you really want to do this, because it's going to be about $25 for everybody in the US, and that includes shipping. So you get 20 mini skeins and shipped to you, already skeined up, for $25. International, it's about $29, depending on where you're at. That is a phenomenal deal, and it's just so much fun. I mean, I don't know about you, but I think I'm super excited. So that's going to happen immediately. As soon as you hear about it, it's going to be the first 19 people that contact me. But the reason I say PM me is because I want to make sure that, if there's something that doesn't agree with you about, or you have an extra question, you can ask me. It doesn't have to be on an open forum, and that way, if you decide you don't want to, it's no big deal. It's no big deal if you really don't want to, but if you want to, contact me immediately, okay? And put in the subject line, please, mini skein swap. So, okay, and then also to know about the mini skein swap. So, oh goodness, I left out a few details on this. So she is going to need 3 weeks after we submit all our photos because that is 20 custom skeins of yarn to create, dye up, and break down into mini skeins. So 3 weeks after we close, it's going to take a full month to do this. That's why I said January and February makes sense for her to, so 3 weeks after she gets all our photos, to create the custom skeins and to get them prepared. Now, I believe they're going to be 5-gram minis. I also would like to know if anybody would be interested in doing 10-gram mini skeins. Now, obviously, if we do 10-gram mini skeins, that's going to cut the people in half to 10 people who can do it. If I have enough interest, here's what I'm envisioning. We will do, the original swap I want to do is 20 people with 5-gram minis. If I have enough interest of people who would want to swap 10-gram minis, I will take 10 people and we will do another swap right after that. So let me know. And I'll let you know the feedback I get. So I am really excited about this. I hope you are too. Please, 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 please give me feedback on this. Okay. Let's go on to finished objects. So I have two. Okay. The first one is this adorable, look at how small that is compared to my hand. I have smallish hands. It's a little mini sweater. And this was a test knit for, oh, I know I'm going to mess up her last name, Skira. It's Sarah, S-A-R-A-H, Skira, S-C-H-I-R-A. And she has other patterns on Ravelry, and she is Imagined Landscapes. It's Imagined_landscapes on Instagram. And I do have this posted on my Instagram feed, so, and I have tagged her on it, so you can find out more information through that. She made these little ornaments up because, and she wanted some test knitters. And as soon as I saw that, I said, yes, I would love to be a test knitter. She sent me the pattern, and I completed this in, gosh, I actually took 2 evenings because I didn't knit on it consecutively, but I could have easily done this in 1 evening. Some cool things about this. She has designed this in such a way that you only have 2 ends to weave in, one at the beginning and one at the end. These sleeves, the way she created them is so clever, so clever. This is a great pattern. I don't know when she's going to put it up, but I had a lot of fun knitting this, and I got to figure out how to, or get some material to make a little hanger. I want to put it on a little hanger and put it on my tree. But, oh, and this was done with Gabby's yarn. So Gabby has a podcast, Once Upon a Corgi, and her Etsy shop is Upon a Corgi, I believe, and I will have a link to that for sure. And this was a mini skein that she gave me, and it's called Winter's Storm is the colorway. I love it. It's a light blue with some grays in it and a little bit of hints of white in there as well. But, okay, a little bit of technical difficulties, but that's all right. We're going to keep on going. So, I was talking about yarn from Gabby, Once Upon a Corgi podcast, and I was saying that she gave me one of the best shout outs I have heard. I mean, thank you so much. I was so flattered and just could not quit smiling. I loved it. And she's a lot of fun. I really like Gabby, and yeah, her sibling has a podcast as well called The Freakish Lemon. So I hope you guys do a podcast together one day. I think that would be a lot of fun. But Gabby and I did a swap. She contacted me. Did we do a swap, or did she just send me something? Did I send her something? I don't even know. My gosh. I tell you, it was not my best week for coordinating and remembering things. But Gabby did contact me. This much I do know, because she wanted to send me an advent calendar. You guys are amazing. I mean, just wow. I was so tickled. She sent me, I'm going to show you guys her stuff now, some goodies, of course, which I won't show you all those, but and a card. But then I haven't opened up all of her minis yet because it's an advent calendar, and so I didn't want to do that. This is a mystery opal. This one is a mystery sock from my first pair of socks. I think this kind of stuff's really fun. And then this is her other colorway. So I do have a little bit of this left in one of my bags, but this was Winter Storm. And then this one is Witching Hour on her fig base. 75% superwash merino, 20% nylon, and 5% stellina. And I think that's beautiful as well. I contacted her after this box and immediately asked her to buy a skein of this and a skein of this. I really like blues, and these are right up my alley. So she is making me those as we speak, and I cannot wait to have them. So there was that. And moving on to my next FO is, you guys saw one last podcast, but I have both. They're not officially blocked. I've been wearing them, so I just put them on sock blockers. But my Jinx socks, oh gosh, my Christmas socks in Jinx yarn. So this is Winter Wonderland is the color. And there is stellina in it, and I know it's superwash. I have coordinating heels and toes, or contrasting heels and toes, I should say, in Malabrigo sock. And yeah, this is just a vanilla sock pattern or recipe from Susan B. Anderson on how I knit my socks. It has an Eye of Partridge heel and yeah, just a regular toe Kitchener. I used what I'm realizing, I do cast on 64 stitches. I do 2.25 millimeters at the top, DPNs. I'm a DPN girl. And then I use 2.75s for the body of the sock. So there's those. And that's it for FOs. I have quite a few works in progress, but I'm only going to show you the ones I worked on the most. Let's see. The first one I want to show you guys is, oh yes, okay, so this is going to move into another box. So Becca, and I think she's Mrs. Becca Stanton on Instagram. I believe that's her name. She saw, I believe this is how this worked. So I posted some multiple skeins to a couple of the people on Instagram who said they were looking for certain kinds of yarn. And I had multiple Woolen Vine yarns and Jinx yarns and something else. So I posted a bunch of them and said, hey, which one do you want? And then a couple people said, do you want to do a swap? And I believe Becca was one of them. So she and I did, I gave her a skein of yarn, and the only thing I asked from her, because at this time, I had no idea that I had people sending me mini skeins for an advent calendar. So I said, hey, just send me some mini skeins. You know, can you individually wrap them so I could do my own kind of advent calendar? I don't care how many. I said you could do, you know, 2 or 3, I don't care. But I just kind of wanted to do this advent calendar thing. And she said yes. And not only that, she sent me a lot of them. And she made me this bag. Look at this bag. Oh my goodness, that is great. Do you see those 3 old ladies knitting? I love this. I love this bag. This is my new favorite bag. Oh my goodness, it's beautiful. So well made. It's a sturdy bag, you know. It's not I mean, you can fold it into something, but it stands up on its own. Love this bag, Becca. I love it. I love it. And she sent me, I'm going to go ahead and show you her mini skeins as well. The ones that I've opened. And I got some candy canes. I got some fun stuff in this. The reason I want to show you some of hers as well is because there was a dyer in here that I keep enjoying that I've opened from her. Okay, so we got the Mad Tosh colorway here. This is Tosh Merino Light and Strawberry Rhubarb. I have a Regia color. And I have Opal sock. Then I have, okay, the yarn at Home Mom, Wild Berries. Home Mom, I have to ask her, Becca, if you're watching this, is she an Etsy seller? Is she? I've enjoyed quite a few colors of hers coming up. I'll show you some more. Where is this? This one is, yep, Yarn at Home Mom, and it's called Rainbow Dash. Here, let me put these over here. I think that's fun too. And, okay, Swan Island Merino Fingering Raspberry. Swan Island Merino Fingering and Fig. This is a mystery wool from a tiny town in Oregon. I like that. It's a bunch of some different shades of some purples. Okay, Mad Tosh Twist Light Magic. This is really pretty too. Reminds me of springtime or like an English garden. Pinks, greens, a little bit of dark blues in there. What's this one? Noro Sock Curion. And then, I bet this is one, I knew it. The Yarn at Home Mom Speckled Donut, which is, what a fun name, Speckled Donut. So I'm curious, she's got fun yarn. I would really like to see what else she dyes because, and I still have more. Oh, there's another one here. Kyogi Sock. Okay, so there's that. I wanted to show you that because it goes with my whip is in her bag. And this is my sock that I'm knitting for the Naughty Knitwits Knit Along. They have one for the Stacy Stalker Knit Along. And Stacy is the dyer for Mustache Yarn. And this is her colorway called Everything is Awesome. And I was able to get this from Michelle. I bought it from her. She is one of the Naughty Knitwits, the one in the middle. And yes, I did that on purpose. If you watched some of her early episodes, you'll know the joke behind that. But I am going to do an afterthought heel on this to see what this is like. I gotta tell you, the Eye of Partridge heel, it's okay. I'm not a great fan of it. I want to try something else out. So I'm going to try the Afterthought heel, and I definitely want to try the Fish Lips Kiss heel. I love the look of that the most. I need to work on my toes and my socks too. Those haven't came out spectacularly, so there's got to be a better way to do those as well. But regardless, this knit along is going from till the end of December, and they're going to draw a name, and you get a skein of mustache yarn, which is very, very hard to get. So I'm starting on one sock here. I don't know when I'm going to turn, or I'm going to put in for the cuff. I'm almost there, if not already. And this is, same thing, 2.25 millimeter needles for the ribbing, 2.75 for this. And these are my Carbons DPNs. And okay, the next one I want to talk about. Nope. I am going to start. The only reason I'm going to talk about this, I've showed it before, but I'm going to show it again because I ripped it out I don't know how many times and redid it. So my first square for my sock blanket. The reason I'm showing this is because there's about 1 million different ways you can do this little bitty square. It seems like it should be so easy, and it is easy. It really is. But I knew how I wanted it to look. It's a mitered square, and I knew I wanted that center piece right there to look a certain way. And so I used Jilly from Vegan Jilly on Ravelry and Instagram. She also has the Knitting Broomstick podcast, which is phenomenal, and she's getting ready to have a baby literally any day. She has some fantastic notes on her Ravelry page, so it's definitely worth checking out. But this decrease you can do a lot of different ways, and the decrease I finally ended up going with is basically it's called a double-centered decrease. If you Google that, it will pull up a fantastic YouTube tutorial, which I will also put in the show notes. Also, if you use the Zoe Knit Girls pattern, and I use that loosely because she even says that someone else obviously came up with this pattern, but she was just putting down basically all her notes into a pattern, which is also on Vegan Jilly's Ravelry page. It's the first decrease listed. She has 3 decreases that you can choose from. It's the very first option. So let me see if I remember this correctly. What you do is you slip 2 stitches, then you knit 1 stitch, and then you pass the 2 slip stitches over the knit stitch, the knitted stitch. That makes sense. That's the decrease I've chose to use, finally. Finally settled on that this week because it was driving me insane. I knew I could not really get going on my sock blanket until I figured this out. The other reason I'm telling you guys this is because we started a thread, or I should say Mel, one of the moderators, started a thread called Sock Blanket Happiness in the Spicy Homemaker podcast group. Go over there, check it out. She is a machine. I think she's doing 3 a day, 3 minis a day right now for the month of December. So she has been really making some progress on hers. And there's a few other people who are posting pictures of their sock blanket. So there's that. Okay. So the last whip I have is the Amande vest. Now, I started this a long time ago and just quit. So I had to restart it. I needed to tear it out. My gauge is different and my size is different. So here is a picture of it. This is a paid-for pattern on Ravelry. I really like this for a few reasons. See if I can show you the back. The back has this cable detail. It looks like it twists and wraps up your neck. Here it is. There's the back. So I have not gotten too far on this, but what I'm hoping is to use this for Jenny of the Tiny Paper Foxes podcast, her Make Two Along. So what I envision is I'm really trying to adhere by what Jenny really wants to happen with this, which is basically you're creating 2 pieces that you plan to wear together. So kind of a little bit more mindful knitting and making, which is a very good thing and I need to do more of. So I'm envisioning this brown vest, just like the picture. I think I'm using the exact same yarn. It's Cascade Eco Wool, I believe. I'll have that linked in the show notes. Yeah, Cascade Yarns Ecological Wool. It's 100% wool. So I want to do this vest with a pair of cabled boot cuffs because I've really been wanting some of those this year. And these would coordinate well and I would wear them together. So I am about, oh gosh, I did the very bottom border, which is a garter edge. This is a very simple stitch. It's garter at the bottom and then stockinette throughout. It has some seams that are mock seams. So it's not a real seam, but it creates the illusion of a seam, which I think is really clever. And yeah, I'm not too far into it right now, but I'm enjoying it. This is a bit of a comfort knit, and I love the idea. I know this is going to go quickly. It's a garment that should knit very, very fast. So there's that, and I'm knitting it on size 11s. I believe these are my Chow Goos. I cannot tell on theirs, but size 11 is what I'm knitting them on. Circular needles. There's that, and that leads me into a question, and that I did not write your name down, and that's terrible. I could see your picture clear as day, but she asked me to talk about swatching. So I'm going to do the best I can with a very simple swatch. This was the swatch I made for this vest. It's stockinette, and I looked at the gauge. And if there's more questions that come from this, please let me know, because I'm going to do this kind of a little down and dirty, somewhat quick. So the gauge here says 15 stitches and 21 rows. So I needed a piece that was in 4 inches. So I needed a piece that measured at least 4 inches this way and 4 inches this way to measure and see if it matched 15 stitches by 21 rows. Now, if you ever listen to Amy Herzog's Perfect Fit, I think it's called, she has a tool that is amazing that really gets into how to create a garment that fits you perfectly. And it's really worth investigating at some point. It's a lot of measurements, but I think it will really help. But she always recommends doing a swatch that's way bigger than this. But I really wanted to get into this. I did 4x4. And I used, there it is, this is what I used to measure. So this is a Susan Bates knit check. It's got my little needle gauges here. It's got 2 inches by 2 inches here, but it also, all my inches go up to 5. And there should be, yep, there's centimeters at the top here. So what I did is I knit a gauge, or a swatch, using stockinette stitch. And then I soaked it. So I cast on, I bound off, soaked it for about 15 minutes in some wool wash. And then I blocked it. Now I didn't block this aggressively. I stretched out to where I thought it would be for a garment, and I let it dry. Then I did my measurement. So my measurements were not exact, and they almost never are for gauge. I mean, it's really hard to get something exactly like another person does. There's a lot of ways you can do math to come up with close to the exact thing that the pattern maker wants. I'm not going to get into that right now. What I am going to say is I did my measurements, and I used my bust measurement for this because she has some great measurements on the back here with some schematics. And I fall in between 2 sizes. So the size that I was using was larger than me, not by much, and the size below is smaller. So I needed to go somewhere in between, which was great because this swatch is just a few stitches under what she has for her gauge. So that should give me a pretty close to what I'm shooting for, if that makes sense. So 15 stitches, what you're looking at here is you're gonna measure this like this. Now, this can get a little dicey, but this is how I do it. There's some very precise ways. Like Amy Herzog says, she actually takes yarn and stitches a exact, I think it's 6 inches maybe by 6 inches, and so it's easy to measure. I didn't do that for this, and I just wouldn't. I wouldn't do that. So I take it here and I lay it flat, and I can't do that right now, so I'm just going to kind of show you. And I do 4 to 4 inches right here, and then I count my stitches, and you have to count them completely. So I would start wherever you're starting. I would start at the beginning of your V stitch, and then if you count each individual stitch, 1, 2, 3, like that, until you get to the end. And if that lands in the middle of a stitch, that's a half. It's not a whole, it's a half. That's important to know, or it's a quarter. So make sure you count it perfectly. And then that's your stitch count right here. Going horizontally is your stitch count. Going up and down vertically is your rows. Because if you think about it, you know, when you go around, that's a round. When you're knitting back and forth like I am on this is considered a row. So when you knit one round, then you come back, that's another one. You're going up. So you count, go 4 inches here, and do the exact same thing. Count your stitches, and that's going to give you your row count. And same thing, if you hit here and you're in between a stitch, that's a half stitch, not a whole stitch. It's important to know that. So I counted mine, and so she has 15 stitches by 21 rows, and I believe mine was 13 stitches by 18 rows, something like that. I don't have it written right here. So I'm pretty comfortable with that. This is it's a vest. It's supposed to have negative ease, 1 inch of negative ease is in it. So I'm just gonna go for it. And I am going to go with the size that was bigger versus smaller. Since my gauge is a few stitches under what she's asking, I am gonna go with the larger size because I'm in between two sizes, so I'm going up. Not sure if I explained that well, but if there's any questions, please ask me. I would be happy to answer anything you have. Yeah, I just wanted to cover that. I said I would this podcast, and I know this is long. Wow, is this long? So there's that. That's my work in progress. Yes, I think that's it. Oh my gosh, there's so much stash enhancement though, and I still haven't even done that. Whew. All right, let's just do this. We're gonna knock it out and knock it out. All right, that's done. That's done. Okay. Let's go with this stash enhancement. Hue Loco, Nicole from the Hue Loco podcast. Dyes yarn, does great tutorials. I've talked about her in my Podcasters That Rock episode. This is her opal base. The colorway is called Memoir. This is usually not a color I would do. I don't know why this speaks to me. It's a cream color with some very light colors in it. I guess because I can see what I would knit with this. I want to knit a shawl with this. I think this would be beautiful in a shawl. Little hints of some subtle color without being too much. I'm excited to knit with this, and it was even more beautiful when it came in the mail. 50% superwash merino, 50% silk, fingering weight, 438 yards, 100 grams. So there's this. Yeah, love it. This is gonna be a shawl for sure, and I think I already know which shawl, but not 100% yet. She also gave me a little mini skein with a coupon on it. Awesome. Also, this came in finally. This is from Cannon Hand Dyes, the Rhinebeck Rainbow. This is the skein that I wanted at Rhinebeck badly. This is Oscar Sparkle Sock, 75% superwash merino, 20% nylon, and 5% stellina. I think this is awesome. Oh my gosh, I so love this. She was out at the Indie Untangled Trunk Show, but she had a sample knit up. So I instantly messaged her on Etsy as soon as I got back. And I just got this today, as a matter of fact. So there's that. And I want to go over what the Twisted Mommy yarn on Instagram, but it's Firefly Fiber Arts. Okay, so this is Down the Chimney worsted weight, 100% superwash merino, 200 yards. And this just looks like something I would knit for my boys, something out of this. I don't know what. This one is Thor's Hammer DK, 100% superwash merino, 256 yards. Oh, that was fun too. No clue what I'm going to do. If either of these two appeal to anybody for any of the giveaways, let me know. I will offer these as well. I love these, but I want to give you guys things I love. So there's that. And that. Okay. We covered that. All right. So here is two more and then I'm done. Okay. The Barren Wool. Okay, so this is Barren Wool in the Pond colorway. I have been wanting a skein of this since I first saw it on Instagram. And she posts her updates when she's going to do them on Instagram. This is her barefoot sock, 100 grams, 437 yards. It says it's 80% virgin wool and 20% polyamide. Don't know what that is. Anyways, I even caught a shop update, but my computer or something was going so slow that I wasn't able to get it. So I saw another picture of it and I said on Instagram, man, I've always wanted some of this. And Kathy said she had some and she would love to do, I think, a swap. Yeah. And I showed her the skeins of yarn I had and we did a swap. And not only did she do a swap, but she gave me some minis. You guys, my advent calendar thing was awesome. It was just awesome, okay? So, beautiful colors again. There's this one, and she wrote things on it too. One of the softest yarns I ever worked with, especially after washing. It's Koigu colorway. Koigu, oh, the colorway is just a number. And then, I said that all wrong earlier. This is Drew Gemstones, colorway Ruby. And then I have Ancient Art Yarns. It's black and white. I also have Madeline Tosh Twist Light in Dotson colorway. And then Dream in Color Smushy colorway Raspberry. And my battery's gonna go out any minute. Periwinkle Sheep Wink colorway Night Sparkle. Beautiful. This is gorgeous. So Kathy, thank you so much for doing that with me. I was gonna do chit chat. Let me see real quick. I'm gonna do the Christmas Eve cast on with Danny from Little Bobbin's Knits. I'm going to cast on some socks on Christmas Eve with them, and a New Year's Eve cast on with another group on Instagram. And I'm going to cast on one of my shawls that I want to do, a more challenging one with charts. That's my plan. I had some other things, but this is really long, so I'm going to wrap it up, say goodbye. So happy I got to spend some time with you guys. I hope you make something beautiful, and I cannot wait to see you guys again. Until then, bye.